Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Avengers issue 2 2023. And that's a very nice cover there. I really like how it shows the current roster of the Avengers and everything. Now, this doesn't really showcase what goes on in here, but this is a very interesting issue. I like it, though I could see why people would be like, why is it jumping around so much? Because we start off pretty much where we ended the last one, where Carol, Captain Marvel, was talking with Kang, and we see that Thor and the rest of them are trying to figure out how to get her out of there. And the thing is, it starts collapsing, but then we see that Captain Marvel comes out and saying that they need to move. And it's like, okay, what's up now? So we go to Mexico City, and we see the Black Panther is the one going through here. And what we do throughout this issue is we follow separate Avengers as we get our information dump from what Kang was telling Carol during that whole black hole thing. Now, info dumps, if done incorrectly, pretty much just screwball with you, and you're just like, oh my god, I don't want to sit here and be told certain things. But it's a conversation between Carol and Kang about what's going on, and gives us plot relevant information in an interesting way, interspersed with what is kind of talked about. So we see that Hydra has taken hostages in a downtown skyscraper in Mexico City, and they've got a death spore bioweapon, typical kind of Hydra thing, and they're demanding that elements of Hydra's leadership currently held in federal prison be released. And they're talking about that they've got 50 hostages, that the government doesn't want 50 corpses on their hands. And then they're like, they'll release the spore anyway to show what happens when it messes with Hydra. And we just see Black Panther come in and fucking tank a dude. And just like, but tell me, just what happens when you mess with the Avengers? As we then get this really cool, I love it when we get interesting use of panels and space within pages. I like how this showcases T'Challa just whooping ass, and in the most effective use of space possible. You see punches, kicks, him maneuvering as he takes down the Hydra agents effectively and efficiently. And then he calls in, says that what he said would be, that's 50 more lives saved. And then Captain Marvel's like, it's not a competition, T'Challa. And he's like, of course it isn't, but if it was, I'd be winning. As we see like them just kind of being like, yes, we're saved. It's like, yeah. So then we go to Null Time then, as Kang is pretty much explaining his predicament, and goddamn, I fucking love the art here. Like, granted, I love seeing the action with, like, T'Challa and all that, but you're seeing Kang bleed out, the use of what null space looks like, of, like, purples and blacks, and he's like, listen, I've been waiting for you, that space-time distortion, I refuse to die until I tell you what you need to hear. And Carol's like, Kang the Conqueror, things I must tell you, Captain Marvel. And she's like, why would I listen to you? You're the Conqueror. You've been trying to crush the Avengers since Steve Rogers was the new kid. And yes, Steve Rogers isn't like part of the original Avengers. Like, he came in afterwards. I like that. It's like really pulling into what goes on with that. And Kang's like, because I will make it worth your while, Captain. Yeah, your money's no good here. And it's like, with the only currency we respect, lives. And Carol, I like the look of like, Carol's like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, call it an act of good faith. I'm offering you the information you need to save 1,000 people in the next 24 hours. And then we shift over to central India, and Thor's like, Thor to the Avengers, the train has been stopped, though it pains me to my core, the Conqueror's information has proved sound. Now granted, it is interesting that Thor had his beard in the beginning, but now he has no beard. So, I don't mind that, it's just interesting to see what sometimes they decide to do with beard or no beard. But, he stops the train derailment, and then we shift back to then. And this is the recurring theme. We see what's going on, we see the part that was then, we see what's going on now, and she's like, I don't buy it, you don't give a crap about people, You don't care about the average Joe. And he's like, I don't care. You know who I am, what I have done. I could watch 10,000, 100,000 die if it served my purposes. Call this what it is, a bribe. And it's like, yeah, Kang would only do that kind of stuff if he knows that it would be in his advantage, to his advantage. And he's like, I am only alive out of spite, Avenger, out of rage, of a need for revenge so all-consuming that I would turn to the Avengers. The Avengers for aid. It's like, yeah, that definitely fits within Kang's modus operandi of what he usually tries to do. And Carol's like, on whom? And then we get the information from like Timeless 2022. Now, granted, I only like read about it. I didn't read it. And he gives us the information of Myrddin, who's a villain, one who, along with his engineered heroes, the Twilight Court bested him. And goddamn, fucking, that's a shot to introduce it to us. It's like, goddamn, I like their outfits, how they kind of look. Now, granted, we don't get complete details on what certain ones look like, but we'll see that information probably later on. And Carol's like, heroes? You got beat down by some future heroes and think you'd come to us for aid to fight them? He's like, no, you buffoon. Myrddin and I sought the same prize. The prize, the greatest of all, one of such cosmic import that if he were to gain it would spell doom for all. If I cannot take the prize, then I will ensure that he cannot either. But I know that a grudge between villains is no concern of yours, Captain. It's like, yeah, definitely interesting. So let us talk about life and death instead. No mere 1,000 lives at stake here, like the ones I am offering you as an aperitif, like the drink before like a meal. No, we are talking about losses of life measured in mega deaths. It's like, damn! And I always like it when vocabulary that I'm not certain of pops up in comics and stuff, so I'm like, ooh, new vocabulary word. Let me tell you about what's coming, Avenger. Let me tell you about the tribulation events. It's like, ooh, okay, now we're getting into this. I like this. We're setting up. We already got our Avengers up. Now we're setting into laying out the kind of groundwork of what this team will be up against. We shift over to the Dublin airspace now as we see a plane has lost control of its engines. They're going down. They're like, this is going to be rough. Would ask all passengers to remain calm and brace. Flight 902, this is Iron Man, and this is the Vision. We have heard of your peril, and we are here for you. So sit back and fly the friendly skies with Air Avengers. It's like, alright, I'm really liking how Vision's being written, and I'm really liking how Tony's being written. It's really kind of weird. Jed McKay has really been a good one, and I want to see how he writes Iron Man. Now, granted, I am liking what is happening with Iron Man right now, but his handle on these characters is really nice. So, we see that Vision and Iron Man are saving this plane in Dublin airspace. We then shift back. He starts talking about things being set in motion, trials falling into place to test the strongest of heroes. For make no mistake, the times that are coming will require heroes, trials, tribulations, cataclysmic mass casualty events that will befall the planet, events that I must prepare you for as well as I can. And then, of course, Carol's like, listen, you're killing yourself. We need to get you help. And he's like, there is no time. When Kang says there's no time, you need to sit up and listen on that. And then he starts going through these other ones. The King of Magic, the Death Moon, that doesn't sound good. The Cannibal Culture, the Endless Night, and the others. Those sound pretty damn gnarly, as he's pretty much like trying to like keep himself alive. He says he doesn't know the order that they'll appear, but he does know what will be first. Then, of course, she's going on him being an idiot, reopening his wound, the impossible cities, and the impossible city, and the terrors it brings with it. No. Oh God, Danvers, I can't die before I tell you. He can't win. As we then see that Kang's pretty much going down, and Carol's trying to keep his ass alive. And then we switch out to one of my favorite ones. Now, granted, I've been liking all of these so far. T'Challa whooping ass, Thor saving a train, Vision and Iron Man saving an airplane. Now we're outside Pittsburgh. We see this dude. He doesn't really seem to be in good shape. He's like he's only got 180 miles to go. People are counting on him. He's got to do this. And the person, someone says, I wouldn't, and we see that it's Sam talking to him, and this just really gets to the heart of why Sam's a good Captain America. Granted, it's because of his connections with people, of trying to help people. It's why he's a good one to be Captain America, along with Steve Rogers. They both are able to talk to people and just get to know them. He says he knows that he's tired. Anyone would be. You're pulling double shifts to deliver medical supplies. You want to help people. And this one's an interesting one because the other ones are kind of like cataclysmic events that are kind of happening out. And then this one, he's got to talk somebody through of, I know you're trying to help people. Now let us help you. And he's like, you're not going to help anyone if you drive the way you are. Your focus starts to slip. You get into Zanesville. You fade out for a moment. Just a moment, but you know as well as I do that a moment's all it takes. And you veer into oncoming traffic. You die, Paul. And so do 43 people in the bus you hit. But I think you'd better hand me those keys. And he's like, people are counting on those supplies in Columbus. They're overwhelmed. If I don't get these supplies to them, people are going to die. I know. That's why you're going to get some rest and shotgun, and I'm going to drive. Let's hit the road, partner. And that's the thing. Like, it might seem like the smallest thing out of the group, but sometimes you just help people by, like, driving a truck and helping them get to their destination. And this is of the same kind of import. So then we see that it shifts to him going to the truck, that the drugs are kind of left on the floor. He asks if Sam can drive a rig. He's like, oh yeah, remind me to tell you how I put myself through college. It's a lot easier than a Quinjet. And driver picks the music, so I hope you like Marvin Gaye, my man. I mean, who doesn't? And I'm glad that they keep the Marvin Gaye stuff that is going on through, like, we get it through the MCU and all that. But he just talks to him, and then he just helps him drive his truck with the medical supplies to help other people. And that's awesome, and I really like that. So then we shift to New York City and the Jarvis Lounge as we see that Thor's coming back, talking about Asgardian thews having succeeded where the engineering of man have failed, and Wanda congratulates him, well done. All the other missions have been successful as well. 1,000 deaths averted. All congratulations should go to you, Wanda. Without your swift portals, our task would have failed ere it had begun. Thank you, Thor, but if we are to continue to act at such a pace, we will need to find a better transportation solution. Acting as concierge when I am needed in the field is a poor use of our resources. And I agree. Wanda is definitely one that you want out in the field because of her versatility. Now, granted, it seems like they've moved out from being in the body of a dead Celestial, which that did provide some perks of, like, a planetary transport system. But Thor's like, you're correct. Mayhap something can be done with the Bifrost. And one of our captains, she watches and she waits. And Thor using the Bifrost is definitely a good kind of thing. I think thews... Let me see here. Muscular strength. The Asgardian muscular strength have succeeded where the engineering of man has failed. See? Definitely interesting kind of stuff. And she's been a wonder coordinating our life-saving missions, but whenever she can, she's watching that monitor, looking for any change in his condition, waiting for Kang the Conqueror to wake up, waiting for him to finish his story. As we see that she's sitting there, she's been monitoring the situations, but she's been monitoring to see if Kang, and we see that he's still alive as of this moment. And then we shift to Earth orbit now, showing a great page of just, like, insanity. And by the way, this artwork, I fucking love it. Thank you. Like, I love the use of color and just seeing Wanda's magic and Thor getting back in like that. But we see that before his stories finish us as the impossible city comes into orbit around Earth. And that is where we end. It's like, ah, shit. So, this was really cool to see the Avengers in action and linking up with Kang the Conqueror, and that somebody screwed him up and he wants to get vengeance on them. And seeing how him just bribing the Avengers with saving lives, I mean, it's an effective bribe. And the thing is, he doesn't care about people. He only cares about himself. And having this be like, I need the Avengers to stop these things and to stop Mirrodin and his heroes that he calls them, but we'll see how that kind of works out. I love the handle on the characters. Now, granted, we get enough on each one. Now, granted, Sam's Captain America one's my favorite bit, but I love all of them. T'Challa doing his stuff and being like, yeah, I'm winning right now. Thor stopping the train like he does. Iron Man being his quirky kind of self, and Vision helping out, and seeing all this go down. Now, granted, I can definitely understand that people can be rubbed the wrong way of how kind of jumpy this is. It is a very crazy kind of structure. Well, not crazy, but it is a little bit jarring that you go from one to the other. Though, granted, there are kind of longer stretches, like the Captain America one, where you get at least about like 3 pages before you get into where it syncs back up with our reality of our time. And I could definitely understand not liking that and feeling that it's a very jumpy issue. That I get that, but it didn't affect the enjoyment that I had for it. But if that sounds off to you, I totally understand it. But now we're getting into the meat of the new kind of stuff as we get our setup for the Impossible City, and it looks gnarly, and I can't wait to see what kind of works on with it. I've really been liking McKay's writing for Doctor Strange, and I really liked it with this. He's got a great creative team on both titles, with the story and the art really working well for me for the most part. The last issue of Doctor Strange had some art that was kind of different, but that there's quibbles. Like, overall, I still enjoy it. But this, I can't wait to see what these Avengers will have to deal with and how they will kind of get through and deal with this, and where this endgame is going to go, because we've got these different kind of arcs that we've got set up now, and then we got to figure out what Kang's endgame is going to kind of be. So there's a lot of kind of cool spinning plates, and I can't wait to see how this works out. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.